Jess Hallock here. I wanted to give you guys the tutorial you keep asking for. Basic curling. Curling, answering all your questions, all your concerns, all in one video. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. So my hair is totally straight. It is long. Same rules apply if your hair is shorter. If your hair is above your shoulders, I have a different video that you can follow. I'll link it at the end for medium to shorter hair, that type of technique. But for everyone else, here we go. So my favorite curling iron more than anything ever, I've been using it for a few years now, is the Babyliss Pro Nano Titanium in 1 1/4 inches, and I'll link it in the description. I love titanium over ceramic because it heats more evenly throughout the whole thing. It heats up quickly, and as long as you can move quickly through it, it is not gonna burn your hair. There's definitely heat settings on the side, right here. And you can turn the knob, you can turn it all the way up, all the way down, somewhere in the middle. Just know, depending on your hair texture, if it's really fine, sit in the middle. If it's really, really thick, and if you're that person that your curls just don't hold, put it all the way to the top. This is amazing. Babyliss has amazing tools. They have other sizes too. Sometimes I like to switch it up and do 1 inch with 1 1/4 inches or 1 inch with 1.5 inches. I never go smaller than 1 inch though, just because it starts to look Shirley Temple-ish, I guess you could say. Also, my favorite products to use for heat protection is the 7-second glossing. I love Unite, I love their products. They work so good. You can layer like 5 and they don't wear your hair down. It's amazing. So this 7-second glossing is a heat protectant spray. So before I start, I'm gonna put that over all of my sections. And this stuff is amazing. Then I'll be using Aquage Dry Shampoo. So this is like my secret, my favorite thing to use, just because it's lightweight, it's clear, there's no buildup, but a lot of us just have silky soft hair or just hair that just doesn't hold on to anything. And lots of times when it's clean, it's just kind of slippery. So this is super lightweight. You cannot overuse it. I use it on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, all of it, and my hair does not feel gross. And like I said, it's clear, so it's amazing. So I'm gonna prep all my sections with this first before I curl, just so your hair has something to hold on to. And then at the end, I'm gonna finish off with Unite Texturizer. This is my favorite texture spray by far. The main reason is because you can brush through it after. My hair lasts for days, so I don't like something that's gonna be heavy and sticky that I can't brush through over the next few days. Okay, let's get started. So I always section, makes it easier, less overwhelming, and it's just a cleaner section. So I love these alligator clips. I get them on Amazon, or you can get them at like Target or Walgreens. They're kind of all over the place. But I start with the section just above, or just, no, probably in the middle of your ears. So go ahead and pull your hair up. In case you're wondering, I do have extensions. If you're like, well, that's a lot of layers. Nope, that's my natural hair. These are my extensions. I do the eye tips before everyone asks me. Okay, so this clamp, fold it down. Pick up a section of hair. I don't like to do a lot of small sections. Do a decent size. Grab a good handful. This is about 3 inches or 3 fingers thick back here. If your hair is really thick, maybe 2 fingers, but for most people, this is enough. And then start in the middle. So we're gonna start in the middle and roll it up. So when I see my clients trying to do this on their own hair, they get really hung up on like where to even start and position the clamp. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, a good judge of like home base is grab your section, look at your curling iron, and this clamp always faces the mirror. So if you're curling away from your face, it always faces the mirror. So grab your hair, clamp towards the front, go in the middle, not up high, not all the way at the end, start in the middle, let go. Roll it up towards your head. I'm pressing the clamp just a little bit to slide it out, and then I am rolling it back up. I'm sliding it out, rolling it back up. Depending on the length of your hair will dictate how many times you need to do that. But I let it sit just for a couple seconds, then I just let it fall out. My hair is long. I like my ends to be kind of straighter, so I don't go all curly cute at the ends. To get that like beachier look and not so ringlety, you gotta have straight ends. So I always tell people an uncomfortable amount of hair is supposed to sit outside of that section. So I'm parting now, where are we? About eye level, all the way back. I only section my hair in 3 sections, maybe 4 if someone's got really thick hair, but usually 3 is enough. And again, I love these clips. Look how much hair it holds. It's easy. Okay, back to square one. We are picking up a good chunky section. I'm around my face. Oh, also when you're curling around your face, pull it forward. Don't pull it back, don't pull it down, pull it forward. Over direct your hair because it just gives you a little bit more volume when you're curling. So pull it towards your face and just drag it forward. And you see how I'm gliding it through? That's another reason I love this iron, because instead of that shiny plate that you see, that's not really forgiving. So when you're pausing, it like kinks as you're going through. So having this coating, it's like a matte, think of it as like a Teflon coating or something. It just glides through your hair. So it's a lot more forgiving when you need to stop. Grabbing another section. So let's say you wanted to rotate your hair. If you're at the end of the day, all your curls just run into one big curl, try rotating them. Everything around my face, I go back. But if I want to rotate, I can go forward. So if you want to switch, going back away from your face, clamp goes forward. Going towards your face, the clamp goes to the back. So I'm rotating, I'm starting in the middle, clamp is at the back, I'm rolling towards my face and pulling it out. Let's say you didn't glide, it kind of is a little tight, especially a fresh clamp. So always have your thumb or finger on this and just kind of be tapping it. You don't need to pull it all the way open just because your hair would fall out, but just loosen it a little bit. So you see how it goes towards my face? When I go and brush my curls out at the end, it just gives it a little bit more variation. I'm picking up another section, starting in the middle. If your hair is curly, because I always tell my curly haired clients, don't straighten your hair after you blow dry it and then curl it. For one, it's double the work. 2, it's way too much heat on your hair. And it's just really unnecessary, because if you have frizz or body like all in your curl, that just makes your curls so much more bouncy and have so much more volume than those of us with like really straight hair where it just doesn't hold. So skip the straightener. If your hair is frizzy at the top, take your iron closed and just brush down on it, because these get up to 450 degrees. It's just the same as your straightener. So just tap it, smooth it out, or you could even just lightly glide over that top part to smooth it out. Don't blow dry and then straighten and then curl. Don't do it. It's bad for your hair, way too much heat. It's not worth it, and it's unnecessary. So you see how much hair I'm leaving out of those ends? A lot of people would be like, oh, that's way too much. And this might look a little funky right now, but trust me, when I brush it out, it's those little things that make a difference of when you're curling your hair and being like, it just doesn't look the same. It's those little things. And before you know it, it'll be second nature and it won't be that hard. You see how I'm pulling in front? I over direct. I always pull my hair forward. It just gives a little bit more bounce. If this seems a little bit difficult, you can always practice on your daughter, your friend, any of those people who want to pay tribute for you to learn to curl your hair. It is a little bit different when you're doing it on somebody else. It's easier, but just getting the motion of like twisting. If your hair isn't this long, then you'll just click it out like that. I'm just going like this with the iron and clicking it out. If your hair is long and you don't have an extended barrel curling iron, there are a few out there. Gosh, what's it called? Bioionic. That extended barrel is the bomb. It is an expensive iron, but if you've been doing this for a while, you know how obnoxious it is to keep winding it back up. But if you had a regular size barrel and you needed to do the longer length, then when you get out here, start in the middle, roll it up, you know, that whole shebang, and then unwind it so you have less hair to work with, roll it back up. So having a longer barrel just skips that step, but it's not that bad. Okay. And also, if you're wondering about dry shampoo, I've always used that just because I live in Arizona and it is stinking hot. And so your hair just doesn't get, it just gets weighed down so much easier if you use a hairspray. And if you're in humid weather, it's the same thing. So I found that using a dry shampoo as your base makes a massive, massive difference. So before I was curling my hair, I used the 7-second glossing heat protectant, and I put that on all over. And then now that I've done a few rows, just because my extensions hold curl really well. That's the beauty of having extensions. If you've ever looked into like a halo piece or getting them done, I don't need to spray them. But if it's, I'm getting up into my natural hair now, so I'm gonna start using this, woo, just to prep. It comes out fast. Okay, not a lot, and it's clear. So just don't overthink like, oh, it's way too much. And if you've been using like some other brands out there, specifically ones that are at like just drugstore brands or Target or something, they might feel more chalky or they might come out white, and that's not the type that I'm talking about to use. That's why I love this one. We can get it on Amazon. It's amazing. Okay, so this is my, well, there's a couple extensions, but this is my natural hair. So I'm gonna prep it with dry shampoo. I'm telling you, when I figured that out one day, I was like, I'm never going back, because I'm washing my hair maybe twice a week. All right, and like I can run my fingers through it just fine. It is not a heavy dry shampoo at all. If you need a dry shampoo to like really absorb oil, that's probably not the one that you want. That's when you want the kind that's more chalky, because the thicker the dry shampoo, the more it can absorb. Personally, I just don't really love how it feels. So when people need like a heavier dry shampoo, I suggest Kevin Murphy Fresh Hair. First of all, it smells amazing. Oh, so does the Aquage, by the way. If you're like, it's not like a smelly, overpowering anything. It's very soft, smells good. I've never had anyone who didn't like it, who didn't like the smell at least. All right, so when I'm back here, just pull the sections where you can see them in the mirror. There might be one section where you can't see it, and just get a bend and a wave and move on. It's just fine. So here's my front. You can see how big of sections I'm grabbing. I do that just because, not just because my hair's thicker, but I feel like a thicker section like supports your curl. When you get all the little sections and then you brush it out, I don't really know that all those little sections made a difference versus taking a bigger section and just spending a little bit more time on it, personally. And if your iron, like, so the iron I used to use before this was by Conair. Fun fact, Babyliss is the professional line of Conair. So if you like Conair products, step up your game and try Babyliss. And these things are not that expensive for how amazing it is. The cheapest I've ever seen them was $35. I think that was like a Black Friday sale or something. Most of the time they're $40 to $50. If you buy them in store, they're always $50. So if you buy them on Amazon, you can get a better deal. And of course, the 1 inch is cheaper, the 1.5 is cheaper, and the 1 1/4 is the one that's like $45. But it's amazing. I love it. They are amazing. I wish I could just carry them in my salon. I would sell so many of these things. They're my favorite. Okay, pulling down my top section. Gonna prep it with my dry shampoo, just like that. Pick up my curling iron. I do take a little bit smaller sections on top just because I like height. I like some body. So this is, we're about 2 fingers. And I always take my time. So the whole point too about doing a curl in the middle and rolling it up versus starting at the bottom, which is how we all used to do it, is that you want the most volume close to your head. If I spend the most time on the bottom and the bottom stays the hottest when I'm curling it, then all of the curl sits at the bottom. So that's why it looks really curly Q. But if we do it in the middle towards the top, then the volume is more right here, because these are just gonna fall throughout the day. So you want your curl to have to fall from the top, not from the bottom and fall out. So if you want more volume, pull your section higher up like this, where you're like more on base versus having your iron sitting here. You're sitting more on top. That'll give you more volume. And I promise we're not gonna leave it like this. I'm not doing Shirley Temple curls. I'm just finishing up. And when I'm not talking through this and, you know, trying to explain, it usually takes me like 10 minutes. 10 minutes, like the most. I have 3 kids. I don't have time to spend that much time on my hair. Oh, I didn't tell you. I opened a salon in Gilbert, Arizona. Depending on when you're watching this. What month are we in? January? Yeah, January 2019. That's when we opened. So now I can make a lot more videos because I have my own space. I was in a studio for a long time, which was great, but making videos with all the noise in the background is really difficult. So now I have my own space. We do lots of videos. So let me know what you want to see, because I mean, I can only come up with so many ideas. And I don't want to bring up content that no one cares about. I am a stylist, so I do color, I do extensions, I do a lot of things. So if you are a stylist and you want to see color or any of that, let me know. If you want to open your salon and want to know how, let me know. We did that too. I don't know. This industry is super fun. It's always changing. There's always fun ways to do your hair that you didn't do before, just when you're like, oh, I know it all. Okay, so once you finish curling, this is the part where you make it look normal. I like to brush it out. Sometimes I use my fingers if I don't have anything else, but if I do have a brush, this is my favorite. It is my favorite brush ever. It is a detangler brush. You can blow dry with it, and you can brush your curls out at the end. Oh my gosh, it's my wet brush. Like, we've all heard of wet brush, but not many people know they have a kind of professional line of wet brush. It's called Epic. This is their Epic wet brush. I'm gonna link it because I don't know exactly what it's called, but look how it's curved. So it's very comfortable. The bristles bend, but they're stiff enough that if you have tangly hair, it actually gets through it. The paddle brush version of wet brush doesn't really do much for me or anyone else other than like kids. So I love this one. So I have put the dry shampoo in. I have let these sit. They're not warm anymore. They've cooled off. They're ready to be brushed out. Don't spend all your time curling and then brush them out immediately, because then there it all goes. All right, so I'm gonna hold the top of my hair so that not all the body falls to the bottom. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna brush it out. That's how you know that dry shampoo is a good one. I can brush through it, no problem. Look at that volume. Oh, I love curling my hair. Honestly, I love it more than straightening, just because it lasts longer, the volume lasts longer. And then this just falls to like a really soft beachy wave. And people are like, how did you do your hair? I'm like, it's 3 days old of this. It just relaxes to this like really soft wave. Okay, so when I'm done and I'm finishing off, that's when I use the texturizer. It smells super good, by the way. Oh my gosh, I need to go somewhere. Need to be seen. Maybe we'll go get ice cream or lunch, or actually no, I'm just gonna walk through Target. That's my happy place, I'm not gonna lie. I want one extra curl up here. If you finish and you're like, I wanted some volume right in that corner, that's what you do. You should pick it back up, recurl a piece, call it good. I'm gonna respritz. Woo! All right, that is it. That is your basic soft waves. I keep my ends a little bit straight. That's just me. If you don't like them straight, bring your curl down just a little bit farther. If your hair is like this length, same rules apply. Just try it out. If it seems difficult, just message me. I'll try and help you out. If you send me a picture, I can do that too. So this is it. Big soft waves using the Babyliss Pro Nano Titanium.